And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentleman Crypto episode 1273. Today is Tuesday, December 31st, 2024, and I'm King here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 10-ish, 7 a.m.-ish these days. And today's top stories: Franklin Templeton predicts Bitcoin reserves to expand globally in 2025. Judge pushes CFTC trial with Gemini to January 21st. Blockchain Association sues IRS over digital asset reporting rules. South Korean court issues arrest warrant for impeached President Yoon. And Solana co-founder sued by ex-wife over millions of worth stakes sold. But first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these cryptocurrency prices. And beautiful. Not much has changed the last few days, which is amazing. I know I've been away for a bit. I'm getting some stuff prepped for the new year. I can't wait. I'm super excited, but Bitcoin is still coming in strong at $95,534, up 3.75%. It's crazy. It's literally just doom and gloom yesterday with people saying, well, we're going back to 70 or whatever. Even if that were the case, we went back to 70. You telling me we'll be going back to 2021 or something, an all-time high? Like, this is amazing news. Ethereum, $3,417, up 3.08%. Ripple, number 4, $2.13, up 5.65%. Number 6, Solana at $197, up 5.16%. Cardano at number 9 at 87%, 87 cent, up 3.87%. And number 10, Tron at 25 cents, up 2.17%. Fear and greed index. I mean, like, this is crazy. We are still sub 100K and we're at a 48. We just went from being at an 80 fear and greed index to 48, and we're still essentially within 10% of this all-time high. This is amazing. Bitcoin dominance at a 56.73. Of course, as those prices start to slide, people go back to Bitcoin. Ethereum dominance at a 12.38%. Those are your prices on the day. What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? What's going on, warriors? Welcome back to the show. Of course, this is going to be a short one today. Just want to wish everyone off to a happy new year. And to make sure you know I will be here, we're going to get it started. Just give everybody a heads up. Today is the 31st, so I'm definitely going to be off the next few days. The game plan is to come back on the 3rd, this Friday, for Bitcoin's birthday. That is the game plan. So stay tuned for that. Worst case scenario, I'll push it to Monday. But the game plan is to come back this Friday. Lord Smith, Jerome Jones, Just Call Me Ill, Hyben, Wisdom, T. Will, Magnolia Pelican, all-time high before inauguration. What's y'all thoughts? We already had it, Jake. We're going to get another one. Bill Spliff, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Good morning. Let's go ahead and jump to these stories. First and foremost, Franklin Templeton is echoing what the industry has already said, but you still got to give him credit because this is a huge investment platform. Again, I used to be a Franklin Templeton on the traditional side. To see them actually making moves and conversations around Bitcoin, it's always good to see. Again, when I was with them, this was not the direction they were going in, so it's pretty cool to see this is the direction they're actually at now. But again, this is Franklin Templeton. Politicians in Germany and Hong Kong have signaled their interest in adopting strategic Bitcoin reserves for their nations. That is right. Hong Kong and Germany are now signaling the possibility of a Bitcoin reserve. And as we already said, we get a few of these major countries on the crypto wagon. It is over with, and it looked like that is actually going to be happening here soon. Spot Bitcoin ETF issuer Franklin Templeton expects more nations to adopt strategic Bitcoin reserves in 2025, according to the company's digital assets outlook. And you can also be sure of this because you get enough of these banks and wealth management firms together, they're going to start issuing democracy and freedom in the form of Bitcoin ETF soon. So I'm sure that will really press other nations to keep it as a reserve currency. On December 30th, the ETF issuer published a list of predictions for next year, including its expectations for several nations to adopt Bitcoin reserves. Franklin Templeton said Bitcoin would solidify its position as a global asset that acts as a digital store of value. The ETF issuer said this would be accelerated by institutional and sovereign adoption. And guess what? I believe them. Again, these are the organizations and companies in the United States that can bite the government, the politicians, the regulators, which in turn can bite the military's ear. So if you have a multi-trillion asset under management company coming out publicly saying, hey, we're pretty sure next year there's going to be several nations to adopt this, I bet a pretty penny is actually going to happen because, again, if they don't adopt it, I can see some freedom coming their way or some ETFs, or a little bit of democracy and freedom coming all at the same time to some of these countries or some of their ancillary territories where they have interests at, if this doesn't move forward. So I believe him. I think Franklin Templeton knows some things we don't know. And I think this reserve currency is going to spread. Now, this, of course, is an echo chamber of what the market has already said, including myself, because the writing is on the wall. We see it happening. It makes sense to have this as a reserve currency, especially if you want to protect yourself against inflation from the American dollar. But to see these big organizations start to come out and say, hey, it's officially happening. People are capitulating. Countries are capitulating. I think this is a great sign, and you better believe it. So with that being said, let's just say we do get Hong Kong and Germany by, let's say, August, September, Q3, Q4 almost. You get a Germany and a Hong Kong Bitcoin reserve. We're looking at, and here's where it's going to get interesting. You should be looking at an easy 150 to 170, $165,000 Bitcoin, but it's going to kind of depend on when that reserve happens. If it happens as the buildup and momentum is happening, we could push again that price point to 120, 140 to 160, 165, 170. However, if it happens and the bear run has already commenced, we're going through a retracement, and then these are like the good news stories. We're like, all right, well, Germany is going to get a Bitcoin reserve, and then Hong Kong is going to get a Bitcoin reserve. I think we'll just see small little pumps where we get like a 10 or 12% day that lasts for a week and a half. The news wears off and it dips down, because it'll be one of those things like, all right, well, you're accepting it, you made it public, but you haven't actually started buying the reserve yet. How does that look? Do they buy $100 million in reserve, Bitcoin reserve, in one day? Do they piecemeal it like El Salvador doing one Bitcoin a day? Like, how does that buy cycle look for these countries once they say they'll accept it? So just because they're saying they'll accept it, I don't think there'll be like an automatic pump overnight. Now, long term, right? You zoom out and you look at that 3 to 5 year chart. Yes, right? 3 to 5 years after Hong Kong and Germany say we'll accept it, forget 170, people. I'm talking 3 to 5 years. Oh man, we're talking $420,000 Bitcoin per pop. Easy. You get those two countries involved. So that would be the long-term macro look at it. But the micro look, I think it would be a non-starter if it were to happen next year, unless it happens as soon as the pump really commences. If it happens like as soon as the bull cycle takes off or in the middle of it, it'll have a lot of wind to keep pushing that price higher in terms of USD. But if it comes as we start to dip, and that's like the saving grace to keep the market, abreast, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Let's see. Jake said these states and countries considering Bitcoin as a non-news needed info, they need to announce it after they do it. See, Jake is with me. I agree with you, Jake. Until it actually happens, this is just you teasing us. So I'm not going to go too in depth with it. But again, this is on the horizon for next year. I think that will be one of the things we see. We talk about cycles and things we saw every year. This year clearly was ETFs, right? ETFs and ETF options. A few years prior, we had NFTs. Of course, we had the meme coin craze that's still ongoing. We've had what other cycles? We've had the DeFi cycle, which we're still in as well. So I think this will be the new cycle. It won't just be ETFs on top of ETFs, which that still will occur. But now it's time for Bitcoin reserves. That might be the new theme, the new thing to do, the new hustle for banks and governments to be like, all right, we got to work on your reserves now. This is the year for reserves. What would be interesting, though, is if that is the theme for this year, whether it be reserves or even this year in 2024, where we saw it being ETF options, look at the shift in the market. A lot of what the market has been or what's been popular, again, I mentioned ETFs, I mentioned NFTs, ICOs, STOs, except with the exception, most things is market that became popular, became faddish, happened because of the actual market, right? It happened because of retail investors. It happened because of YouTubers, people on Twitter, Twitch, all these other things. For the first time this year, I think we saw the market get driven and shifted by institutions, with ETFs being the actual theme, which was started by institutions and regulators, not the retail market. So this is the second time we've seen it try, but the first time we've seen it work. STO, security token offerings, were the first time we saw them kind of try to come over and say, well, this is going to be the institutions and the corporate interests moving the market. And it didn't work, right? That was in 2018. A bear market commenced, and everybody's like, all right, we're just going to stop doing any ICO or STO, if that's what you want to call it, since you're trying to put the force, trying to force us to do it. This is only the second time we've seen it, but it's actually worked this time. This time they say, all right, we're going to do ETFs. We're going to have ETF options. We're going to do derivatives on derivatives. Actually, third time. First time was futures. This is the futures department. So this is really the second time we've seen that theme happen. Excuse me, we did have futures that 1 year, but it really didn't take off mainstream. But these ETF options are taking off because of the size of the portfolios, of course, of assets under management. So be real interesting to see if next year we get the same thing where institutions drive the themes. What would the theme be? Is going to be Bitcoin reserves. And if it is a theme where it's going to be Bitcoin reserves, we can expect to see institutions take the charge and take the lead again. So we shall see. Yes, I'm not covering it today, but I did see this as well. Is there a correlation between the Treasury hack, plane crashes, and drones, says Stan? Tinfoil toboggan time. I mean, looking at the time of the year, new president coming in, or kind of a new president, I guess. Technically not the last president, but still an incumbent is coming back. But you look at all this stuff happening, plus the new year and the price, I wouldn't be surprised if something were astray going on. Is there any on like site correlation? I would say no, but what it is interesting is after that article about the Treasury hack, a lot of other articles about hacks have come out in crypto, even to the effect of them saying that hackers are starting to hack other hackers now. They're running out of big pots of money to go get, so they're going after other hackers. So who knows if that was a part of it or not. T. Will said, I've noticed a lot of the OG YouTubers are saying it's almost over, if not in time and price. Why don't you think Bitcoin can double in the last year anymore? So for me, I'm not saying it's over as far as Bitcoin, the project, or the blockchain. I think that's going to continue to go strong and continue to be great. What I mean about is over is the ability to live or interact in this market without committing quote unquote crimes, right? Like if you're waking up and they're saying, hey, peer-to-peer transfers are illegal, which is what they've essentially done in America. They said peer-to-peer transfers are illegal. Private wallets are semi-illegal / demonized. Private transactions are semi-illegal / demonized. Like you're trying to tax it from an unbearable point to where you can't even keep business going. You're trying to regulate it to the point you can't keep business going. There are no protections. So when I say it's over in this market, I mean like just for the normal person to just say, hey, there's no barriers to entry. Let me jump in, make a quick buck and support my family. I think that part's almost over with because they're making it to the, again, fine. You want to jump in? Well, that's going to cost you 30% right there to jump in. Oh, you want to trade? Another 30%. Oh, you want to take some of that capital out? You made another 30%. So like again, and then, oh, gas fees. We forgot about that. Transaction fees, right? So it's just becoming to the point where it's like, is not worth the squeeze. It has to be worth the squeeze. It used to be you walk up to that crypto tree for one, nobody even knew it was over here in the woods. All right, it was trees on trees on trees on trees. You could just walk up and you could just grab a piece of crypto fruit and you can look at it close. Oh my God, is this a less than a penny XRP? It's a bunch of these less than a penny XRPs. The whole fields of them. There's fields of less than a penny XRPs. Let me grab as many as I can, right? That's how it used to be. You can go harvest it with your family. You can and you can eat. I'm full. Oh, you're belching. You're full off that XRP. It ain't even a penny yet. You're getting full, okay? Then the government came in, Uncle Sam, the regulators, everyone crying who grifted over from different professions who started losing money, said, hey, what's going on? We can't win. It's too much fruit. We don't know which direction on the farm to go to get what fruit. This isn't fair. Help, help, help. And the government regulators said, fear not, we shall help. Instead of you all picking your own fruit, we're going to put it in the grocery store for you. Oh, by the way, it has to be regulated. Only certain types of fruit can come through this grocery store. Oh, you can't have that one. And not only can you not have these anymore, those XRP ones over there, you're not even allowed to pick those for free. You go over there and start picking those and playing with that, you're going to owe us some money. And you won't get full once you go finish picking and harvesting anymore. So this is what I mean. It's almost over from the regulatory point of view is what I mean. I think they're going to come in super aggressive. Hopefully not these next 4 years. You still got Trump in. He's a cowboy. So hopefully it's the Wild Wild West for the next 4 years. But after that, once we get the other side of the government, the yang balancing the yin, you know, we had Sleepy Joe for what, 4 to 8. I can't even keep up anymore. We had Sleepy Joe, Trump before him. Who was before him? I can't even keep up. Was Obama before him? We just go back and forth with the extreme views. We're going strong right or strong left. My point is, after this 4 years of strong right, it wouldn't surprise me to see a strong left or moderate come right back and say, hey, all that crypto stuff y'all been doing, it's over with. So we'll see what happens with that. Asti said we need to leave California. Life has become fruity. When I first moved here, that's what all the military people told me to begin with. It was like, California's beautiful. You're going to love it. Only problem is there are the people. It's a bunch of nuts, fruits, and berries going on. That's what they told me in the military. They never lied, boy. They said it's a bunch of nuts, fruits, and berries in California. All right. I still love it, though. Cali, hey, they got an appreciation of freedom like we've never seen before. Judge pushes CFTC trial with Gemini to January 21st. Without even reading the story and seeing the headline, I would assume Gemini actually asked for this. And the reason why is because this administration has been friendly to Gemini. And if it were me, looking at what Trump has already been saying, and his incoming administration is going to be looking at Bitcoin and crypto with more of a appreciative lens, is what we expect and hope. I would also push back all crypto trials until he was in office as well, because now it's like, all right, if you're going to bring one of the largest companies, crypto companies in America out to pasture, you better have a good reason, because this, once again, is going to set precedent, not necessarily the laws and the rules, which it will also, but on market sentiment here in the United States. If the CFTC puts Gemini through a blender, you better expect other companies to say, well, it's not over yet. This persecution, this unwanted, unfair, unwarranted persecution is still going on. We're good to go. Let's start to look at other countries. I think that would be the response. However, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's why it's getting pushed, is because you're going to see the CFTC either fold, or the government either fold behind them, to where it's going to be like, hey, if y'all want to die on this hill, good luck. If you win, you'll get the promotion. But if you lose, we're definitely firing your ass and waving you around America saying we didn't know you were pushing this issue toward Gemini. The civil case between the U.S. financial regulator and Gemini Trust Company was initially scheduled to go to trial before Donald Trump's inauguration. It looks like, however, a New York judge has delayed the start of a trial in a case between the two. On December 13th, filing in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, of course, the real gangsters, Judge Alan Hellerstein pushed the start date of the CFTC versus Gemini civil trial from January 13th to January 21st, adding that no further adjournments would be granted. Adjournments. I said adjournments, hilarious. Adjournments would be granted. Again, to me, this shows that more than likely one of the parties pushed it. It will only make sense for Gemini to do it. The delay moves the trial start date under a new presidential administration, which could affect the CFTC's position on Gemini and other crypto firms. Not could. The way Trump and the administration is talking, it should affect it, okay? If you remember, we saw Crypto.com already drop their lawsuit against, I believe, the SEC. This is another big company, very public fight between both of them, CFTC and Gemini. Gemini is involved in other legal battles and litigation as well. I don't see them stopping or slowing anything down, because Gemini has definitely felt they've been persecuted against unfairly, and I know they feel it's affected their bottom line, which could effectively be billions of dollars. So there's no way, no how they're ducking any phase at this point. No, Gemini's seen all of these through. However, I do think it was probably them and their lawyers' work behind the scenes to push this thing one more week. And again, wow, what a week can change, people. What a week can change. So again, this is a panel of 5 CFTC commissioners, each serve 5 years. They have I think most of them are expected to serve. It looks like to June of 2026. Woo! Which of course would be right there in the middle of the next administration. So, like I said, this 1 week pushback could change the thoughts and opinions of everyone on that board immediately. Like, they could have been like, oh, we're about to bury Gemini. Okay, well, the trial's the 21st now. All right, we ain't gonna bury them. Maybe we'll just find them. And like, they've been outspoken about the new presidential administration as well. They're saying, hey, we like the guy, we like that he backs Bitcoin and crypto. We're putting capital toward him, right? I think they'll have a phone call to make. I think when January 21st start, a few minutes before trial, the phone calls are gonna be made to see how this thing is gonna go. Do you want me to walk in there and try to embarrass my own country? Or am I going to walk in there with all this money and might and capital, and we're going to all play fair? We're going to do a dog and pony show. We'll say, hey, we could have done some things better on the compliance side, right? We could have done some things better as far as how we approach this. The CFTC will say, hey, you know, maybe we went a little too crazy on you guys. You're trying your best. We still got to fine you though, because you know it's gang, but we won't turn you upside down, right? If the phone calls are made before January 21st or right up into it, that's how that dog and pony show will go. It'll be a quick little walk. But those calls aren't made and everybody's standing ground. Oh, bloodbath, baby. Listen, the crypto market is going to be crazy the first week the president comes in. You got the CFTC commissioners stepping down. Are we getting a CFTC one stepping down as well? I think we had. You're going to have the Gemini trial start. I think it's some crypto custodian thing that's being released around the same time. There's a ton of stuff going on. Not to mention, shout out to the Warriors in the chat on the Discord. Shout out to Alec. You all know I'm a lurker. I'm working in the background, but I'm lurking. Shout out to the Hyper Liquid? Shout out to the Hyper Liquid crowd. I saw you all are staking today. You know, you got Hyper Liquid staking. That will be about 3 weeks into that stake. Who knows when those airdrops and things like that will actually happen, knowing how this thing usually works. So it is a lot of interesting things happening in Q1 next year for Bitcoin and crypto. It's been a long time actually since we've had an interesting Q1 like we're going to have this year. So expect heart attacks, plane crashes, and everything else in between come January 21st. It's going to be very interesting. All right, Blockchain Association, shout out to you all. Thank you. It only took like 5 or 6, 7 years, but finally the crypto industry is fighting back. Blockchain Association sues IRS over digital asset reporting rules. Law decoded. The IRS issued new regulations requiring DeFi platforms to report crypto transactions. We kind of skimmed across this unless this is additional guidance. In response, the Blockchain Association filed a lawsuit against the IRS, arguing that the rules are unconstitutional. I agree. Goodness, thank you for pushing back, Blockchain Association. I mean, this is getting crazy. The U.S. IRS issued regulations requiring brokers to report digital asset transactions, expanding on existing requirements to include platforms like decentralized exchanges. I told you they want to choke this market out. And the crazy thing is, and this is where it's going to get interesting as far as laws and technology. You can scream and shout you want DeFi platforms to do this all day. For the true DeFi platforms are the ones who are trying to stay as DeFi as possible, i.e., I'm just paying for server space and I don't know what's going on it. Like, you can't stop this. It's code that's open source. And I understand the IRS and these folks don't understand it. So to break it down in layman's terms, the answers to the tests are publicly available for everyone, and you can't hide them anymore. So you keep trying to re-give these tests like, oh no, y'all DEXs have to report this, and it's not going to work like that, because literally the moment you say, okay, DEX ABC has to report, then somebody's going to instantly say, well, boom, here's DEX DEF, right? XYZ, Elemental P. Like, there's going to keep creating new DEXs overnight, which you only need an email address, and really don't need an email address for many of them. You just need a wallet. So let me take that back, where you just need a wallet to interact, and boom, you're back trading, lending, doing everything you can. We really need to ask ourselves is why our government, every other government around the world, again, I want to make sure we are clear on who our governments are. These aren't gods or super intelligent or super smart people who are just like that much smarter than the rest of us. Like, they have brains like the cone heads. Like, these are literally other humans that are our peers. Oftentimes, these people in government do not have their shit together. They don't have their finances together. They don't have their family life together. We're looking at the president when I say that. Literally, the president of the United States, son got cocaine going in the White House, and he getting arrested for it. Okay, gun charges and all types of shit. If you look at them on paper, it'll be people in the comments screaming 13%. All right, the boy's a statistic if I've ever seen one. All right, a dope head gun runner getting arrested. Okay, that is what we have in our government in charge of us. These are our peers. I say all this to say, why is it that our peers are waking up in the morning saying, hey, this thing over here that we didn't believe in, the whole Bitcoin industry, we didn't believe in. Now you guys got platforms that have popped up that says anyone on the planet can interact and bank with it, essentially, with made up money and made up coins. And you still got your peers are angry. No, that's not fair either. We mad at that. It's like, bro, what are y'all mad at? We're mad that we can't control a platform that allows made up money to be transacted. Like, what? You want control of it all. It won't go down like that. It's interesting to see the IRS try. I'm glad to see the Blockchain Association push back. They're saying these rules won't even take effect to 2027. What are you guys worried about? Don't listen to it. This is how they lull you asleep. They say, don't worry about it. These rules won't take effect until 2027. You fall asleep at the wheel for a year or two, and next thing you know, boom, we're here. This is like the Hollywood actor strike, where we just had like a resolution, like a 2-year, 3-year resolution. But in 2026, 2027, we go right back to a strike if new resolutions aren't met. Like, you do not want to be in this spin cycle of always trying to get ahead of regulators and the government, all because out of the blue, they came up with some new rules for an entire global market that makes absolutely no sense. Again, they're coming up with these taxation rules, and there are no protections. There are no protections. If you get hacked, scammed, or any of that stuff, there are no protections, yet they have taxation rules on it. It is crazy. But again, I'm glad to see the Blockchain Association sue the IRS. I don't think it's possible since it's a government agency like that, but it will be very funny to see the IRS get sued into essentially oblivion, to where they have to reduce staff by like 30 or 40%. Like, oh, well, why can't you afford it? Well, we lost that big one against Gemini for the $20 billion. And that actually was like half the staff salaries this next year. We got to cut people. Like, it would be hilarious to see it go like that, because that was what would happen to any other organization that wasn't backed by federal tax money. Like, stop it. This is, again, our peers that we're paying is essentially turning the gun to us saying, all right, we're going to shoot y'all. Y'all going to keep paying us. Like, no, absolute madness. Shout out to Blockchain Association. The buck stops here. This is absolute craziness that the IRS is doing this. Hopefully Blockchain Association wins. WS Banker said, look, stop looking at these industries as those defining the market. U.S. politics does not control crypto. Talking heads discourage crypto before the people show knowledge of it themselves. I agree with WS Banker. Is that Wall Street Banker or just WS? I agree with WS Banker in general. And while I agree with you, unfortunately, it doesn't matter, because it's one of those things where we just saw it now. It's not even the retail market that's in the ETF game. It's literally the likes of BlackRock and other institutions, BlackRock, Franklin Templeton. These folks have trillions of dollars of assets under management. So it's like, even though the government wasn't for crypto, they said it was all for, it was fraudulent stuff, and it's for criminals. You got institutions in America as a whole saying we don't like Bitcoin. I mean, honestly, if you ask the average retail person now in America, just walk around and ask people about crypto, they would have a negative view on it still. So I definitely agree with you. Like, they're not the ones defining the market, but they are the ones defining the market because, again, we all, as a market and consensus, decided so many things. And literally, you had an ETF futures companies come here, SIBO, BlackRock, and they're just doing what they will with the market. So we shall see how consensus continues to work, especially when you get Bitcoin reserves at a federal level across different states and countries. It will definitely start to see how this market shapes and takes. Well, consensus went out where you see the real retail market say, oh, we don't like X, Y, and Z moves. We're going to fork or do something different. Or will we see institutions went out as they're already trying to the effect where they say, hey, do we even need a Bitcoin anymore? Or do we need this Bitcoin as we know it? As you've already seen some of these billionaires come out and start to say. So we'll see. Crypto is worldwide. I think that's supposed to be, DR Trump is a liar, just like all politicians. Do not listen to him. I believe that as well. All politicians definitely lie. Let's see. The Discord link has been in the chat, Humney, for over a week now. Let's see. I might need to update it, but the old one has been in the chat. So there is no playing fair in the economic industrial complex. I agree. I agree with that as well. Maccabee return is coming. Alexis play return to the Mac. I need to stop because it might just start playing in the background. Got one hooked up. Pneumonia, you're right. We can't forget about pneumonia as well. What else do we have? Will Reggie Middleton receive his just due under this new administration? Who knows? You gotta ask Reggie that. This would be the time to really push it forward. And see, hey, shout out to Reggie. This we got to push it forward with a back end deal. You gotta go to the administration and say, hey, this isn't just good for me. this is good for us. I can't spend all that money myself, guys. Yeah, I need some help to spend that money. Who wants to be president next? I don't know. Let's get to talking. Let's have those conversations. You got to bring those conversations up with them, Reggie. That's where you get them. Let's see. Today's live is private membership associations, the church. Oh, okay. Yep. Taxes, LOL. You all are funny. They need to look at your crane and them about taxes and the money. You already know. Discord link is broken. Yep. So as I mentioned before, the Discord link is only good for a week. It's only good for a week. That's why it breaks. I put a new one in the chat. I've announced it many times. I'm not sure what's going on. I put this thing on what is it called? I got this thing on all the podcasts. I'm saying on YouTube. I put in the description. I don't know what else you all what more do you want from me? Okay, this is DYOR at some point. All right, I'm gonna throw it in there right now. Here we go. At the top of the description, if you see this or listening, is an updated Discord link right now. The Discord is currently free for the next few months. Feel free to hop in it. I have not began trading personally inside of it. It's right now it's community because I'm doing some back end things. I plan to get started trading on it as soon as possible because I got my own little plays I want to make. I want to make them for you all. But again, that Discord link is in there. It's free for the next few months. The only thing I ask is tell your mammy, tell your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, aunties, and uncles. Give everybody that Discord link. If they ask you a Bitcoin and crypto question, refer to the Discord. Give them the link. Tell them to join the Discord where everybody's in there talking crypto can answer their questions. That doesn't mean to come in there being lazy. Shout out to the warriors in the chat. A couple people have been lazy already. A couple warriors like, yeah, you might want to just Google that real quick. Don't come in there being lazy, all right? Because people are going to be looking at you like you're crazy. Come in there with real questions or provide real information. We're just going to have fun. It's the locker room. This is the game, and Discord is the locker room. We're just having fun in there. All right? We're just some chill guys and gals in there. Just some chill guys and gals. All right, Salker. Speaking of which, something else I want to introduce. I keep saying this meme coin mania thing. I'm gonna do something with it here soon. I'm working on it. We're gonna bring that to the Discord too. It's gonna be some meme coin mania for sure. I thought this story was interesting. South Korean court issues arrest warrant for impeached President Yoon. That's right. South Korean court has approved an arrest warrant for President Yoon Suk Yeol after he refused 3 summons requests from investigators. Now, I mean, what can I like? Ain't no fun when a rabbit got the gun. I guess the best thing I can say is we've seen this time and time again in this space in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But I feel like whenever you're actually like pushing back or anti-crypto or anti-Bitcoin or anti anything in this market, eventually it comes back to bite you, right? It comes back to bite you as someone, as Ashley mentioned, in the form of pneumonia. Maybe it'll come back to bite you in a helicopter, right? Maybe it'll come back to bite you in some high cholesterol and a heart attack, all right? There's many ways it's come back to bite people in this space, but this is what's crazy, and this is why I just made this whole rant about our peers. You essentially have our peers in America trying to tell us what should be taxed on what on internet platforms. It's not even hurting humans. Like this is a whole different story. We're talking about hurting other Americans. We're not even hurting Americans. I say this to say this. Like, it ain't no fun when a rabbit got a gun. How do you go from, oh, Bitcoin can do this, crypto can't do that, this can't do this? Everybody's listening to you. All right, all hell, South Korean king and queen, so and so, we got it. And then the moment your time's up, the moment like, all right, you done broke some laws too. We want to come question you. You like, well, no, you can't get me. No, I'm on a lamb. I'm on a no. What's good for thee, not for me. Like, this is what I'm saying. This is why you really shouldn't revolve your life around listening to other humans. Like, oh my God. LA, slap yourselves, LA. It wasn't all of LA, but definitely half of the city. And for some of these warriors too, I'll slap yourselves too. The day after the election, the people who woke, I can't go into work today. You know how many people I talked to? I was supposed to go on a hike that week. And people was like, I can't go on a hike today. I was like, why? They're like, you didn't hear the news? I was like, what news? What's going on? It's like, is the earthquake? They're like, Trump won the election. Bro, you ain't going outside today because of the different president. It'd be different. He was literally lining people up to kill people, like literally doing it. Not talking crazy and tweeting, but literally. People were not going outside because of this. All right, like this is how crazy the world's got. South Korean president came out and did all this smack talk about Bitcoin and crypto and taxation and regulation and what's morally right and what's morally wrong and all this and everything else. But the moment it's time for him to come see everybody about their business. We can't. Whoa. tar and feather, cold tar and feather. I want to hurt people. I want to hurt them, but we need to bring back some cold tar and feather. This is absolutely insane. These are, and again, especially when you talk about South Korea, when they talk about their what's the word I want to look at? Like, I don't even know the words. Somebody help me with the words, but essentially their people have drank more Kool-Aid. Like, it's the reason why they're south of the north. They've been drinking some Kool-Aid over there too. A ton of Kool-Aid they drink. So imagine how many South Koreans were capping for the president and his policies. No, the president is right about the Bitcoin and crypto and what we need to regulate and regulations and the taxes and you're not allowed to do DeFi. And okay. Now, what are they saying today? What are they saying today about this same president? I wonder. The one who's on the lam. Oh man, South Korean court issued an arrest warrant for President Yoon Suk Yeol, who was impeached and suspended from office following his attempt to impose martial law in early December. Shout out to South Korea. And you know what? I want to take it a step further. Only because y'all love to see it, the world. Don't arrest them and put in or arrest warrant. No, do him like Hillary and all y'all wanted Gaddafi done. I want South Korean president done like y'all did Muammar Gaddafi. Ain't no arrest warrants. Go get that boy and go parade him through the streets. I want to see him on BBC tonight. Let me stop. I'm just halfway kidding. But it would be interesting to see him on BBC tonight. The Seoul Western District Court, I can't even talk. The District Court approved the warrant on December 31st, marking the first time a sitting South Korean president has faced an arrest warrant granted by a court, according to a report from Korea Herald. And again, I say to the president, you should be lucky they're issuing you an arrest warrant. Like, this is people, I can't believe we've gotten here. Yes, I think somebody in the thing just said it. We are soft. We got in soft. Somebody said soft or something. And this is what I mean by soft. It used to be a time the government didn't just punk all these people together. What? This is what I don't get. This is what frustrates me in America. If it were me, if it were a king trying to punk y'all and say, I'm taking 30% of y'all, y'all be like, no, hang him upside down. Who this guy think he is? He's a king of no one, right? Those would be all the comments, and I get it. But like a person we don't know or see that often, or the IRS, we just throw a group name on the IRS, they're allowed to literally arbitrarily come out in the third or fourth quarter of a game and say, hey, all these rules are going to be different now. And that thing that we didn't believe in, those platforms aren't real. Yeah, we want 30% off that website now, everybody. Or you're going to prison immediately. Like, you wouldn't allow an individual person to do it. You wouldn't allow me and a gang of the dudes to do it. So why are we allowing these other people to do it? Like, I just don't understand. I truly do not understand this. But South Korea, they said the buck stops here. Investigators requested the warrant after Yoon failed to report for questioning a third time. Gave you 3 times. Again, the same people whose their relative IRS would be summoning you and throwing you in prison if you weren't paying those good crypto taxes. But he can ignore summons 3 times. Ooh, the arrest warrant was requested by a joint investigation task force consisting of the Korean National Police Agency's National Office of Investigation, the Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials, and the Criminal Investigation Command of the Defense Ministry. All right, on a serious note, I point this story out, and I'm not going to go much more in detail. You guys get the gist of it. You see what's going on. But I point this out to say this. This is happening in South Korea, a first world country and an ally of the United States and one of our for real partners. Right? So this is my thing. You think it's happening with one of the largest countries on the planet, one of our partners, people we do military drills with, we do politics with, we do trade with. You think none of that has seeped into the United States? It's just over there in South Korea, where who we've been looking for crypto guidance to for the last 10 years. But none of it has seeped into America. It's only been a South Korean thing. And the fact, even if that word true, and that word a true statement, that hasn't seeped into America and is only a South Korean thing, that's still a big issue. That South Korea, people, is one of the biggest countries on the planet. And their president is a dirty guy with how many people dirty working up under them, and how many of those dirty folks essentially swayed the crypto industry in its in the direction it wanted to go the last 5 to 10 years. Like, so we now know your president's corrupt. We know people who work for that president in their administration is corrupt. And we also know this administration, this president has set Bitcoin and crypto policy for how many years in South Korea now, which the United States has also piggybacked on. So like, why are we listening to these people once again? That should have been the title of this show. Why are we listening to these people? Good luck to whatever you all do in 2025. But I tell you what, if you're still listening to these people, whatever comes with it. All right. Or what I would suggest is like, yeah, you get along with it, get along. Don't go too crazy, but just blindly saying like, well, the government said, well, this or regulator said, well, South Korea said. It's just like, where does it stop? These people are criminals. They're just in higher positions because they're wolves. They see the sheep. They see the sheep and they see how easy it is. And they're like, you know what? We're going to feast. And they decided to feast. All right, last but not least, Solana co-founder sued by ex-wife over millions worth of stake. So that is right. We talked about this before. We've had a divorce. I can't even say the word. A divorce attorney on the show before as well, when we were talking about, hey, what happens to assets and NFTs after divorce, where it looks like we're about to get a better picture of this as this actually happens. Elisa Rossi, the ex-wife of Solana co-founder Stephen Ockridge, accused him of taking millions of dollars worth of her soul staking rewards. Now, my question is this. A few things. First, observation is, I'll say this, you all can figure it out on your own. This has happened in crypto before, right? We've seen this before with couples where one part of the couple will tell their girlfriend, their wife, their baby mother or something, get capital from her, and then not give her the capital back from the project or keep the rewards or something. Like, we've seen this happen in crypto, people. There's some dirty people out here, like, unfortunately. So this definitely does happen where we see partners, spouses, guys dating girls, crypto bros dating girls, getting money from people and not giving it back to them. Like, we unfortunately have seen this in crypto, but at this magnitude, I don't think we have yet. Well, no, that's a lie. FTX kind of had a little bit of that when it came to the Sam and old girl or whatever. But what I will say about this is, I don't know how deep it goes as far as, did they recently get divorced? Had they been divorced before the Solana project started? So we're going to read more on it and hopefully it will answer that question. But if I will say this is recent, like they're recently getting divorced and all this is going down. Come on, my boy, cheaper than keeper. I know what probably happened. He didn't ran up today. He ran that Solana up for the first time. That soul has made this man attractive all of a sudden, right? I know what probably happened. Somebody became attractive overnight and they living that life again. I get it. Your second life came back around, but it's cheaper to keep her. That's my first thought. I don't know if that's what happened, but if he broke up with her doing the bull run with Solana, that's messed up, man. You can't do it. Can't do it like that. She definitely gonna get that Solana off you. Solana co-founder Stephen Ockridge was sued by his ex-wife who accused him of secretly profiting from her stash of the blockchain's token through staking rewards. Ockridge was hit with a lawsuit filed in San Francisco Superior Court on December 24th by Elisa Rossi, who claimed her ex-husband earned millions of dollars in staking rewards from Solana tokens she claims are hers without her knowledge. The complaint said Ockridge was Solana Labs' principal engineer after helping establish the company in 2018. He is now the CEO of the cybersecurity company CyberGrant. Rossi's suit alleged that the pair's March divorce agreement split ownership of the soul they own. So it was March. Oh, man. Yeah, buddy. You can't. You should have held on a couple more years, man. You can't do it right now. But Rossi claimed Ockridge took advantage of the significant disparity in expertise in cryptocurrencies to keep control of the tokens and continue earning staking rewards from them. Her complaint alleged Ockridge merely gave Ms. Rossi Solana wallet authority over 3 accounts that contained the Solana tokens, which allowed him to secretly continue staking Ms. Rossi Solana tokens and earning millions of dollars in staking rewards until Ms. Rossi discovered the deception in May of 2024. And again, more on this soon. More on this soon, people. Like, I'll be more on this soon. But here's the problem with the dummies who do things like this. I think they themselves forget that this is the blockchain. Even people who are supposed to be experts in this space, right? Like, you got this guy, Solana engineer or whatever, supposed expert in the space. I know experts in the space who've done similar things like this, and it's like, I'm just going to put in the public address and see everything. Like, it won't disappear. So it's like, even if he gets away with this, or even if someone else gets away with this, you do realize, like, all it takes is like a murder. At this point, doing dirty stuff on the blockchain is the same as committing a murder. Like, it will live forever. No one's going to let it go. Even if it's 10 or 15 years from now, people are going to pull up the address and be like, oh, yeah, this is the wallet you had that we know for sure you had, and all this was going on. So It just surprises me that you have all this intelligence in this space, and then people are doing dumb stuff like this, where it's just like you don't. It's on the blockchain, man. It's on the. It's on the blockchain. Like, knock it off. This is crazy. The number of sold tokens at issue and the sum of the allegedly stolen are redacted in the complaint, but it does mention the sum is over $25,000, and the company filing mentioned the significant sums at issue and a request to seal parts of the lawsuit. So again, this is the slippery slope of Bitcoin and crypto. And again, hopefully by Friday I can go in more detail about this, but if not, it'll probably be another week or so. But essentially, like, this is how regulation really came to crypto. It's people doing dirty or dumb stuff, people suing. Once you sue, you get the government involved. Government is like, crypto, wait, staking, like all these new terms. Now they're catching up on it. And now they're, oh, you know how much money's in this game over here? Like, what? Forget the murders and the robberies and everything. Let's go after the people who doing financial crimes in crypto, if we can even call it a crime, because we haven't even made guidance yet, right? So I see the play, but this is how it happens. So it's been a slippery slope. It's something I've looked at and talked about throughout the years. It's something I continue to look at and talk about, but it's one of those things is like, do you sue in the space? Do you go get the professional or the regulatory and legal help, or do you just charge it to the game and charge it to the tuition? Now, clearly, the market has already spoken. People are like, no. I'm going to get my lawyers, and we'll figure this out in court on X, Y, and Z. So that is why we do have a lot of the regulation here, and why it will continue to come as loud and proud as it's coming with the taxation and enforcement actions to go with it. Like, this is the reason. But on the flip side, you have people like this in crypto. Like, crypto itself and Bitcoin is not a scam. I hate when I hear it. It's not a scam. What is a scam are the bad actors in it. All crypto and Bitcoin are financial guns. And just like a gun can't hurt another human if it's just sitting there staring at you, the moment a bad human picks up that gun, all of a sudden we have a real issue. So that's all that's going on in this space too. Is like, no, the technology works, the code works, everything works. Is that literally you have bad actors picking up the technology, picking up the code, picking up their phones and tweeting and doing everything else that's negative, that makes this space look bad. But with that being said, there's just as many good actors, there's just as many good developers, there's just as many great people like these warriors here. So with that being said, have a great New Year's Eve, a happy New Year. Like I said, I'm planning to be back on the 3rd for Bitcoin's birthday this Friday. Worst case, I'll be back next week. But I'm telling you now, we are literally, I would say we're in a 4-day to 21-day window where I'm going to start dropping a lot of stuff. You all will get the full stories, everything. And I'm about to crack this new year off with some very interesting and fun things. Hey, you all know me. I'm as transparent as can be. Shout out to the United States Navy. That's how they teach their public affairs officers to be transparent. So I'm going to bring some transparency to you next year, some new products, and a lot of fun. But I'm telling you now, it is going to be turned up the next few weeks. Here, I just got to do some things behind the scene, make sure I got my ducks in a row, and then I can release the Kraken. Other than that, smash that like and share again for those listening or watching. The Discord is in the chat. I'm going to try to keep that free for the next couple of months at least. I really want to build that up. So feel free to join. Get all your family in it too. Anybody ask you a random, hey, is Bitcoin? Hey, what the price today? Just give them the link to the Discord. Tell them to join, or hit me up like, tell this person to join. Get them to join. Let's get this Discord up. Let's get this community built. People, next year is going to be one of the best years for us in cryptocurrency. All right, it's going to be one of the best years for us. All right, I want everybody to be excited. Onward and upward. It's going to be an amazing year. I need you all to feel this energy. That's why I came today. Feel this energy. Get this good night's sleep. We're going to start tomorrow off with a home run to begin with in our personal lives, and crypto's taking off. By the time this new administration comes in, who cares if he's telling the truth or lying? All right. Who cares? He'll be under investigation in no time. All right. He won't have time to worry about us. As soon as that investigation starts under this returning president, we're going wild, wild, wild westward. All right. No worries, no fears. Cryptocurrency is here. Smash that like and share. King will see you all